Pain is not just something we endure. It is one of the most honest and powerful teachers life has to offer. It strips away illusions, forces us to confront reality, and reveals truths we would otherwise ignore. The quote, "Pain is a teacher the weak refuse to learn from," is not just a catchy phrase. It is a hard truth about the human condition. Pain visits everyone, but not everyone extracts its lesson. The difference between growth and stagnation often comes down to whether you choose to see pain as instruction or as punishment. When we talk about pain, most people immediately think of physical suffering, injuries, exhaustion, or illness. But pain extends far beyond the body. Emotional pain, rejection, betrayal, financial hardship, failure, all these forms of suffering have the same potential to instruct us. Think about heartbreak. Some people experience it and swear off love forever, letting bitterness define their future. Others use the experience to learn patience, resilience, and clarity about what they want in a partner. The same pain, two completely different responses. The strong allow pain to refine them. The weak refuse the lesson and remain trapped in cycles of avoidance. Pain is unavoidable, but suffering is optional. The reason is perspective. For the strong, pain is information. It tells you something is wrong, something needs to change, something must be improved. Athletes know this intimately. The burning sensation in their muscles during training is pain, but it signals growth, adaptation, and strength being built. They do not run from it. They lean into it. The weak, however, interpret the same signal as a warning to stop, to retreat, to never try again. In this way, weakness is not simply about physical strength, but about mindset. The refusal to endure discomfort for the sake of growth. Life's most valuable lessons rarely come from comfort. Success, when it comes too easily, can make us complacent. Comfort lulls us into thinking we have arrived. Pain, however, shakes us awake. It tells us where our limits are, and it dares us to push beyond them. The entrepreneur who loses everything learns lessons about risk management, humility, and perseverance that no business school textbook can provide. The person who struggles with failure learns to separate identity from outcome, realizing that being rejected does not mean being worthless, but only if they are willing to listen. Why do some people refuse to learn from pain? The answer is simple. Learning requires humility. To admit that pain is a teacher is to admit you don't know everything, that you need correction. Weakness is not about lack of ability. It is about the refusal to submit to correction. Pride makes people blame others, luck, or the world instead of facing their own responsibility. They numb their pain with distraction, substances, or denial. Instead of asking, "What is this teaching me?" they ask, "Why me?" This mindset guarantees that pain becomes wasted suffering rather than transformative growth. If pain is a teacher, then resilience is the classroom skill you need. Resilience means sitting with the discomfort long enough to extract meaning. It means reflecting instead of reacting. Suppose you failed an exam, lost a job, or were betrayed by a close friend. The weak reaction is to sink into despair or bitterness. The strong reaction is to analyze. What did I miss? What blind spots did I have? What does this reveal about me and about life? Pain has done its job when it points you toward these questions. Of course, there is a limit. Not all pain is productive if endured blindly. Learning from pain does not mean glorifying it or seeking it out unnecessarily. It means recognizing that since pain will inevitably come, you should not waste the experience. The person who never reflects suffers twice, once from the pain itself and again from the lost lesson. The person who reflects, however, transforms pain into wisdom. History is filled with examples. Soldiers returning from war often speak of how suffering gave them perspective on what truly matters: family, freedom, peace. Inventors and artists who faced rejection after rejection used the pain of dismissal to refine their work until it reached greatness. Nelson Mandela endured 27 years in prison, but instead of letting the pain of injustice destroy him, he let it teach him patience, strategy, and forgiveness. Weakness would have made him bitter. Strength made him a leader. At the individual level, think about the times pain has shaped you. Maybe you touched fire as a child and learned to respect danger. Maybe you lost someone and learned to cherish moments with those still here. Maybe you failed and discovered a resilience you didn't know you had. Pain carved those lessons into you more deeply than any book or lecture could. The scars you carry are reminders of the classroom you have already survived. So the challenge is this: the next time pain enters your life, do not turn away. Do not numb it or deny it. Instead, ask, what is this here to teach me? That question separates the strong from the weak. The weak refuse the lesson and therefore repeat their mistakes. The strong endure the sting, take notes, and walk away wiser. Pain will visit again and again, whether you are ready or not. The only choice you have is whether to see it as punishment or as education. Remember, pain is a teacher the weak refuse to learn from. Strength is not about avoiding pain. It is about listening when it speaks and walking forward changed by the lesson.